really waiting to hear what Floyd is going to say today. The media briefing was held. Your thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of punches were thrown at different political parties. The EFF was at the receiving end. MKP, he exposed a lot of things from MKP, but it didn't come as a shock. We have been talking about Floyd even last week in our slot, the Brutally Honest show. So I anticipated that there will be a resignation and then there will be a formation of a party. Yes, he has not resigned, but it is neither here nor there. He just wants the MK party to push him out, and he wants that sympathy, support from members of MKP, especially those that would have been standing with Jacob Zuma when he pulled the same trick to the ANC and said he's not resigning, he keeps the membership of the ANC. So, but essentially he's gone. He's not there in MKP. His head is now focused on the establishment of the new party.
Do you really think he's going to really establish that new political party he said he's going to consult about?
Look, this whole thing is just a trick that political figures use to fool the public. A decision has already been made to form a political party. The process for consultation, the so-called consultations throughout the length and breadth of South Africa, it's a process to legitimize a decision that has been made so that people feel like they've been part of the formation of the party. But they are key individuals that Floyd has been talking to who are going to be announced as the interim structure that will lead the party. So there is a party. There is a party already.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened to COPE. A group of people sat and decided to form a party. Terra Lekoda takes a lead and says, I'm handing over my divorce papers to the party and I'm going on a consultation spree. Weeks later, Mbazima Shilowa comes and says, I'm volunteer in chief in this thing. I'm also handing over my divorce papers to the ANC. We are consulting. What came of that consultation? A COPE. Same thing, EFF. They went to Marikana. They said, we will consult. They formed the party. We knew that there is a party already.
Yeah.
Same with Action SA, so-called dialogues. It was a process to legitimize the formation of a party. So that's what strategists do. Floyd is following the same script.
So what are we looking at here? What are we looking at? Who do you think is going to join Floyd in this, political party you are talking about?
There are members of MK who are disgruntled. Some of them left the party before Floyd came in. There are members of MK party who joined MK following Floyd from the EFF. Such people will be seen as Floyd's people, and they will be stigmatized and tormented, and they will be pushed out of MK. Such people are likely to join him. There are those that said they want to wait and see when he left EFF, and some of them became inactive. They are probably going to follow him now. You see, the prospects of the party, maybe that's something we need to talk about. You need three things for a party to be successful. First, you need ideological character. And let me elaborate on that one. So, there are three political parties that are on the left side of our politics in South Africa. There is the SACP, which calls itself the vanguard of the left. There is the EFF, which has been taking that space. Now there's MKP. So Floyd has been involved in the shaping of the ideological character of the EFF. He has been involved in MKP. Now, if he forms this new party, how will this party distinguish itself from the three? from the SACP, the EFF, and why should an ordinary voter vote for Floyd and not Julius or not MKP, Jacob Zuma? So there is going to be a challenge of distinguishing this party amongst the rest. That's one. Two, you need crowd in order to win an election. For that, you need a crowd puller. You need a charismatic leader. So Floyd, he is failing to understand his limitations.
Okay.
He has a limitation which is also an advantage. His advantage is that he is a strategist. He can sit and write documents and write founding documents, constitution. That's what he did at MKP. That's what he did at EFF. So he is the brain's trust, but he doesn't have what it takes to fill up the stadium. So for this, he succeeded in the EFF because he had someone that he was complementing.
Okay.
So he had the brain, and then he had the figurehead,
which is the crowd puller.
Which is the crowd puller.
Okay.
In this case, if he goes it alone and is the leader of this party, it is likely to fail to draw the crowd. So it will exist in paper, but it will not have a lot of support.
So don't you think he might use Ngozi as the crowd puller?
I think his hubris has gotten into his head. He will not give this thing to somebody else. Yeah. The reason why he left EFF is because he couldn't wait any longer for a Julius, another term of Julius Malema. They formed this party together. He was waiting to succeed. And Julius has decided to become the leader of the party for life. So now it was very clear that there is no space for Floyd to grow. So what he could have done was to stay in the EFF, or even to stay in MKP, and allow the whole thing to settle, and then take over from the charismatic leader, who is Jacob Zuma. On the other side, he would have waited until Julius, but it was clear Julius is not going anywhere. So that's the crowd thing. The third aspect is funding, and it's very, very critical.
Yeah.
So if you look at the performance of the parties that went into elections, Bo Rise Muzanzi, Bo Bosa, and them, ask them how much they had to raise.
Yeah.
Rise Muzanzi was funded. There were generous sponsors who gave them money, not less than 30 million rand. How many seats did they get in parliament? So you need more than 30 million in order to get 2 seats in parliament. So who is going to fund Floyd with more than 30 million to get more seats in parliament? So there are 4 sources of funding for political parties in South Africa. The main one is the white establishment, the old money, which is linked to the mining sector and the old, rich white people, Stellenbosch and so on. Those people have decided to fund Wosongezo Zivi, Womusimaimane, DA, Hemen Mashaba, and partly they gave something to the ANC. They're not going to give Floyd. The second source is illicit traders. In that space, you include the cigarette smugglers, the drug dealers, the corrupt entrepreneurs. Some of them fund the ANC, some of them fund the EFF, some of them fund MKP. Now, they fund those parties because they can get something in return. What is it that Floyd will offer them now? Why should they leave those people and go and fund this new thing? So it will be a struggle. The fourth one is, the third one is crowdfunding. South Africans are broke. We don't have a big middle class. What we call the middle class are public servants, and they are broke. They are indebted. Yeah. So for an ordinary person to take out their 10 rand to invest in a political campaign, it's very difficult. They would rather save the 10 rand for a loaf of bread. Then there is IC. IC will only give you money after you have performed. So it's after the fact. I doubt that this thing will really be a force to be reckoned with. It will exist on paper. It will have very good material that we will read, but it will not take off. The only thing that will make it take off, it's exactly what you were suggesting. Floyd must accept that he is a backroom operator and give somebody the leadership. A person like Mbuyiseni Ndlozi could be that charismatic person to lead a party. But I don't know. He is enjoying being on the radio.
Please hold it right there. When we come back, do you want to be part of the conversation? 068-212-9281.
Assalamu alaikum. Looking for a spiritual home? Join the Alexandra Islamic Center, your local Islamic community today. Connect with fellow Muslims to grow in faith and serve together. We are based at number 6014th Avenue in Alexandra, just next to the Alex Stadium. You can contact them on 063 932 055.